Hi guys, and welcome back to Tom Talks. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And today we're going to be doing something a bit different. I normally do this on other platforms, but I am doing this on the YouTube channel today, and it's going to be an anniversary. And we're going to be talking about the 10-year anniversary of A$AP Rocky's debut album, Long-Live.A. So this, of course, followed up his breakout mixtape, Live-Love-A, which was very highly regarded, very well liked. And we got this album. And for me, this album very much stands the test of time. I think it's still a very impactful record for its production, A$AP's rapping ability, the features he brought to the table here. And it had some fantastic tracks on here, this album. It really did. I mean, the album opener just hits you hard. It's a fantastic track. The production is amazing. Rocky's flows hit you hard. It's a fantastic opener. We've got other great tracks on this record. I mean, Effing Problems is an iconic. It's the track that brought A$AP to the attention of the UK, really, and 2 Chainz, Kendrick and Drake all did their thing on the features. One Train is one of probably the greatest posse cuts I've ever heard in rap. I mean, there's so many talented artists on that, and they all brought their A game, I found. There's Yellow Wolf, Danny Brown, Action Bronson, Joey Badass, Big Crit, Kendrick, Yellow Wolf. I believe that is everyone. That's fantastic. The production on that track is crisp and very nice. Wild for the Night, I don't think gets that much attention. I think people sort of pass it off as just, oh, it's just another Skrillex track, but the use of autotune on A$AP's voice here and on other tracks where it's that very deep voice thing, I think that works well, and he works well over that dubstep production. But then I like the A$AP Ferg track with Skrillex as well, even though not everyone likes that. Goldie, absolute banger. Even my mum likes it, so you know it's a banger, because my mum's not the biggest hip-hop fan. Even like, yeah, the solo cuts of like Geordie and Suddenly, they didn't get the love by me, but going back to this record and listening to them again, I was like, yeah, these are good. These are good solo cuts from A$AP. Fashion Killer, fantastic track. Love that track to this day. I did actually forget a few tracks from this that I enjoyed, like LVL, the track with Santa Gold I really enjoyed, Ghetto Symphony. But I can't believe I forgot PMW, because that is nice. The production on that track is great. The Schoolboy feature is great. The fast-paced flows are great. Yeah, that's a good track. There's so many great tracks on this album, and I think it doesn't get maybe the respect it deserves. I think people who like this record have a lot of respect for it, and I certainly do. I remember listening to this for the first time in college and being like, loving the production, loving A$AP's charisma and his very unique sensibilities he brought to the hip-hop scene, which I don't think everyone did. But I don't think many people sort of regard this as one of the best albums of the 2010s. I think a lot of people talk about the mixtape, but with this, they'll talk about the singles, but maybe not necessarily the album itself. And I think they should, because I think this is a fantastic hip-hop record. I don't think it's like one of the greatest of all time, but it is a fantastic record, and I think its impact needs to be discussed more. Like, the way A$AP Rocky just, his fashion sensibilities, is obviously fashion and hip-hop have always been together, but he's very sort of high class, very, that sort of approach I think is very clear and obvious in the way people dress today. I think his production, the glitziness of it, is very present in hip-hop today as well. I think this album had a big impact on hip-hop, and I think its impact is probably not as talked about as it should have been, in my opinion. And again, the features on here were great. Train is an iconic track, in my opinion, for the amount of very talented rappers that were brought to the table on that track. Effing Problems obviously still remains one of his best known tracks, deservedly so. The album opener for me it's probably one of the best album openers in hip hop in my opinion. I mean, the way it just comes in is just, it's fantastic. And yeah, I really enjoy this record still. I still get a lot of enjoyment from it. I enjoy listening to the songs a lot still. And I would probably say I think this is his best album. I actually quite enjoyed At Long Last ASAP quite a bit personally. I know it wasn't everyone's bag and some people were like, this is not as good, but for me, this is his best album. I know people say Live Love ASAP is their favourite project of his. I think I've listened to it once, to be honest, so I can't have a massively formulated opinion on it. But I did remember enjoying that record. But this album, I guess, has a bit of nostalgia for me as well, because like I remember listening to this during college when I was starting to properly get into rap and hip hop. And it still stands the test of time. You know, as I said, the tracks I've mentioned, Fashion Killer for me is a timeless song in my opinion as well. And it's a great project. Even the bonus tracks, like the one with Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine, is a great collaboration between those two. And I mean, Florence is still used very well in hip hop today, as seen on Kendrick's We Grow Together. But that's my thoughts on the 10-year anniversary of ASAP Rocky's
Live ASAP.
A fantastic record. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you do. If you haven't recently, go revisit it. It's a great record. And we've got new ASAP Rocky, and we've got new ASAP Rocky coming as well. So I am looking forward to that. I wasn't a big fan of Testing personally. I thought it was kind of lacking in places. There were some good tracks on it, of course. Praise the Lord with Skepta, fantastic cut. But I am excited and interested to see the new direction ASAP Rocky goes in on that record. But yeah, if you have listened to this record recently or are a big fan of it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Has this album stood the test of time for you, as it has done for me? Let me know. But until next time, this has been another TomTalks.